most unforgivable thing another adult did at your child's birthday party? I was picking up my daughter from her friend's birthday at a laser tag and bowling place when I saw 3 ambulances parked by the entrance and dozens of police officers gathered outside. I leapt out of my car and sprinted over, where an officer immediately ordered me to show him my ID. I did as he requested, and he told me to wait behind the yellow line until further instructions. I felt my heart pounding. I wanted to just rush in, but I complied. And a few minutes later, I started seeing all the kids from the party being brought out. They looked awful. Some were crying, some were throwing up. My daughter's best friend was being carried out by a paramedic and put into the ambulance. Finally, I saw my daughter. She was stumbling over, clutching her stomach, and when she saw me, she weakly ran to me. "The candy made my tummy hurt," she said, lunging into my arms. Before I could even ask her what happened, a police officer approached me and told me I needed to take Emma to the hospital immediately. As I carried her to my car, I heard other parents around me getting the same instructions. The drive to the hospital was the longest 15 minutes of my life. Emma kept moaning in the back seat while I tried to keep my voice steady and tell her everything would be okay. The emergency room was absolute chaos. I recognized at least 20 families from the party all checking in at once. Emma was getting worse, and I had to hold her hair back while she threw up into a plastic bag. A nurse finally called us back and started asking rapid-fire questions about what Emma had eaten at the party. They took blood samples and started an IV while Emma cried and begged them to stop. That's when the doctor came in and dropped the bomb. Multiple children from the party had tested positive for fentanyl exposure. My blood ran cold. The doctor explained that the candy from the party favor bags had been contaminated. 7 kids were already in the ICU. I felt equally as angry as I did shocked and sick. Our kids had been spiked with fentanyl. All of us were trying to figure out how this could have happened. When a few hours later, a detective came by and started interviewing us. He asked detailed questions about if we knew who had access to the party supplies and which staff members we'd seen bringing the kids in. When I asked if this meant that someone from staff was responsible, he looked at me strangely. He said he wasn't really supposed to say, but a few months ago, his own 7-year-old son had a birthday party at that place. He ended up hospitalized. Thankfully, everyone else was okay. But as a parent, he knows what it feels like to want answers and not get any. So he was willing to break his confidentiality to tell us that yes, it was a staff member. I stared at him in shock, especially when he revealed something else. He told me that after all the kids left, they did an investigation, and they found that the storage room was being used as a makeshift place to cut and package drugs. This was the same room where they kept bulk candy and party supplies. And as if things couldn't get any worse, whoever was doing it had literally been using the same surface for both drugs and candy portioning for months. That's how the fent ended up in our kids' candy. All of us parents were absolutely outraged. The hospital had to escort us outside because we started causing such commotion. The detective eventually left, telling us he was sorry. He wishes he had answers right now, but we'd have to wait. He promised to follow up as soon as he knew more, and he did. A few weeks later, we learned the truth. So it turns out that the management of the place was in on it. And not only were they in on it, they were practically running it, because the person responsible for it was the owner's son, Brandon. He'd had keys to every room and had been dealing drugs for years. His father knew about it and told Brandon he wasn't getting involved in his life no matter what. Guess this meant literally turning a blind eye to his business being used as a DRG workshop. Security footage showed him going into that storage room regularly and ignoring obvious drug paraphernalia. The owner got charged, but hired expensive lawyers and somehow got off on probation. His son, however, did not get the same treatment. His dad didn't spend a dime in helping his case, and he got 15 years. Sad thing is, Emma still won't eat candy and asks if food is safe before eating. Birthday parties terrify her now.